Joining us now is Morgan Schilling. She is the Business Development Director at the Avalon Communities of Michigan with us on the MegaCast. Morgan, thank you for being with us today.
Yeah, thank you, Larry.
I appreciate having you on. So tell us about the Avalon Communities and what living options you have available there.
Yeah, so the three communities became the Avalon in early August of this year after transitioning to new ownership and management. Grace Management Incorporated has been serving the senior population for over 30 years, and it has now over 60 communities across 20 states nationwide. The Avalon of Auburn Hills, the Avalon of Bloomfield Township, and the Avalon of Commerce Township offers assisted living and memory care living options. Assisted living apartment styles include studios, 1 bedrooms and 2 bedrooms, equipped with a private bathroom and a kitchenette. And memory care includes studios and 1 bedrooms, also equipped with a private bathroom. Every Avalon apartment is handicap accessible, and our teams do work to incorporate every aspect of home because it is home to our residents.
And so it's an assisted living community, and we have many of these in our local area here in Oakland County. Of course, there's many all across the state of Michigan. But what is assisted living? What defines assisted living? What kind of services do you offer to your residents and your clients?
Yeah, so assisted living is providing seniors with personalized care in a community setting. So in each of our communities, we have a care team on site 24/7 to assist our residents with activities of daily living. And that term is also known as ADLs. And so with that, ADLs includes, but is not limited to, assistance with personal hygiene, mobility, and providing 3 meals daily to our residents. Each community also provides housekeeping and laundry services, daily enriching activities, on-site rehabilitation, including physical therapy, occupational therapy, and speech therapies, as well as transportation. And so our goal is to allow our residents to have day-to-day freedom to come and go with the convenience of these supportive services that we offer at our communities.
We're joined by Morgan Schilling, the Business Development Director at the Avalon Communities of Michigan, with us today on the MegaCast. And so COVID-19 has had an immense impact on assisted living facilities, on nursing homes, on other medical facilities, and on our senior community as well throughout the state of Michigan and around the country. As we continue through the pandemic, and we're in a surge right now here in the state of Michigan, how does Avalon Communities continue to navigate that situation to keep its residents and its clients safe, knowing that the majority of those that are in an assisted living facility, that are living in an assisted living facility, are those that either have medical histories or are at other risk factors because of their age against COVID-19?
Yeah, so thank you so much for asking that question, because it really is an important topic, especially right now with the surge through this COVID-19 pandemic. The health and safety of our residents and associates in our Avalon communities has been and remains our top priority. Since the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, we have proactively implemented additional protocols and precautionary measures for the protection of our residents and associates. As good neighbors in our communities, we know that communication with residents and their loved ones has been critical. We remain dedicated to providing virtual communication whenever in-person was not possible. And it has been a challenging time for everyone, but our amazing community teams have remained vigilant in their emergency preparedness plans and protocols we have in place. And we are fortunate to benefit from great partnerships to provide us with tools and resources to keep our communities safe. And we are following and adhering to the CDC guidelines as well as township guidelines and procedures.
We're joined by Morgan Schilling, the Business Development Director at the Avalon Communities of Michigan, joining us today on the MegaCast. And also in the earlier portions of the pandemic, because of the precautions being taken by assisted living facilities and by other senior living facilities, nursing homes, and so on, that are often associated with assisted living facilities in some ways and others. Part of those precautions being taken were keeping some separations from outside people coming into these facilities, particularly in that case, loved ones of these individuals that are living there. So at this time, what does the Avalon Communities of Michigan provide to its clients in terms of supports for family and for loved ones, given that we're still navigating the pandemic and certain precautions are going to need to be taken by these facilities to keep their residents safe?
Yeah, so that's a great question, because it's not only important to support our residents, it's also important to support their families and loved ones who live in our communities, of residents who live in our communities. So each community, starting in January, will be hosting a monthly caregiver support group for those who have loved ones with memory loss. And we are also fortunate, and this is recent, we are offering education programs that are being presented by the Alzheimer's Association. And both the support group as well as the education program are offered either to attend in person or virtually, whichever you feel more comfortable with. And we also have a wide variety of contacts and partnerships for our families and loved ones looking for more support. And that includes hosting panel discussions with industry experts to answer questions, provide information, and be a general resource for those who may be navigating senior living options, who may have questions or concerns about their loved one, and just having that additional resource.
We're joined by Morgan Schilling, the Business Development Director at the Avalon Communities of Michigan, joining us today on the MegaCast. And so assisted living facilities are not just necessarily for those that have medical ailments that may impair them from living a more regular life, or for those that are of older age. Who should be considering potentially moving either themselves or potentially moving a loved one of theirs into an assisted living facility?
Yeah, so that's a great question, because a lot of our residents are very active. They can still maneuver around the community by themselves, and they, for the most part, still live very independently in our communities. And anyone who is at home, living by themselves, does not have a lot of day-to-day interaction, may want to look into moving into an assisted living community such as the Avalons, because our daily enriching activities provide socialization. We offer our residents communal dining, and so they are able to sit in the dining room and enjoy conversation with their neighbors. We have a fitness center on site, and we also offer the on-site rehabilitation, and so we keep our residents active through physical therapy, occupational therapy, and working with them on their speech therapies as well. So a lot of our residents move to our communities because they want to have that day-to-day socialization that maybe their loved one can't stop over at their home every day and sit with them and have those conversations. And so we find that a lot of our residents do come from home because they enjoy that additional socialization.
We're joined by Morgan Schilling. She's the Business Development Director at the Avalon Communities of Michigan, joining us on the MegaCast. And so for those that may be considering themselves or a loved one becoming a resident of an assisted living facility such as those at the Avalon Communities of Michigan, what considerations should they be making as they prepare to either look into that decision or as they make that decision and prepare to move in to one of these facilities?
Yeah, so I would suggest, if I were looking for my loved one, to start doing your research. Look at what options you have available around where you live, and look at what is important for your loved one who is looking at making that transition into a senior living community. Think about what they do on a day-to-day basis that is important to incorporate while living in a senior living community. And so we have residents who enjoy shopping, but they no longer drive. So then they're able to plan events. We can provide transportation to the grocery store. We can provide transportation to the local mall to bring our residents shopping, to still incorporate that day-to-day familiarity into living at the Avalons. And so the best way to learn more about our communities is by visiting our communities. And each Avalon community, there's always something happening on a day-to-day basis, and our doors are always open for the public to schedule a personalized visit. And so you can do this by visiting our website, www.gracemanagement, and that's spelled out gracemanagement.com. You can select communities in the upper left-hand corner and then scroll down to find Michigan, and you can select the Avalon that is closest to you. Feel free to give us a call, stop by. We're happy to answer any of your questions and provide you with a tour of our community.
Morgan, we thank you very much for joining us another few minutes with you on the show today. We're joined by Morgan Schilling, Business Development Director at the Avalon Communities of Michigan. As she said, you can learn more information by visiting gracemanagement.com. If someone wants to get in contact with your team there for assisted living or memory care options, who should they be contacting, and how soon after contacting you would they be able to then prepare to either move into one of these communities or go for a tour or other things that they may need?
Yeah, so that's a great question. We have sales directors in each of our communities that would be more than happy to answer any of your questions and schedule a personalized visit. They are usually available within maybe same day if you're lucky, but they are very busy. So typically we can schedule a visit for the following day. And then for move-in, the process for move-in would be we just have some additional paperwork that we would require you to fill out. And then we can typically move someone in within 48 to 72 hours. And that's just contingent on paperwork process. We do a preliminary assessment with our wellness director. And then also we always encourage loved ones to bring furniture to furnish the apartments that's most familiar to the resident that will be moving in. So we do give you time to do that as well.
Morgan, we thank you for joining us. Anything else that would be important for our audience to know or to consider about the Avalon Communities of Michigan before we let you go today?
Yeah, so the Avalon of Commerce Township this Sunday from 2 to 4 p.m. will be hosting a Photos with Santa event. We just wanted to bring smiles to our residents' faces by bringing in children to visit with Santa. We'll have a build your own hot cocoa bar, as well as a mailbox for letters to be sent to the North Pole. And we will also be accepting donations, and they're not required. We will be gladly accepting donations for the Oxford community. And so we fundraise, we try and support our community as best as possible. And so we host events that the public is able to come to, and for the most part, they will have a fundraiser attached to them to help support our good neighbors.
Morgan, thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having me.